right, hi Stars fans. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. Today we'll be reviewing the knockout final against the Thunder. I'm joined by my co-host as always.
Hey guys, it's Jacob here from Melbourne Stars News, and I'm pleased to be co-hosting once again. But unfortunately, this time a bit of a sad review. We have been eliminated from the BBL 14 finals, but we'll get underway. But we've also been joined by Aiden, who's a huge fan of the podcast and the Melbourne Stars. So welcome on to Aiden. We've also got our favourite co-host Josh here as well.
Yeah. G'day. It's good to be back on as co-host.
Yeah. And we're also hopefully going to be joined by Henry in 1 second.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome on, Aiden. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm just a kid growing up who loves cricket in the Melbourne Stars, so bit of fun.
Awesome. I'll hand back over to you, Heath, to get us started.
All right, thank you. So obviously it wasn't the result we were looking for. We sent the Thunder into bat. They got 135. We tried to chase the total down. It looked shaky, but then we just collapsed and our season was done. So what was the if there was any positives, what was there any positives last night from the game in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think the only real positives were from a bowling point of view. I think Usama Mew was great, taking 2 for 26, I believe, off 4 overs. So he was quite economic, holding him to about 6 runs per over was pretty impressive, and also taking the wickets was good. Obviously, the pitch was favouring spin, so we were expecting him to play quite well. Doug Warren did all right for his second game, so that was impressive. And also, Marcus Stoinis took a wicket, which was surprising on those pitch conditions. But really, the bowling was kind of the only positive, I'd say. I think we'll get into the batting in a second. I won't talk about it too much right now, but yeah, I think those standout bowlers like Tom Curran and Osama Mir were probably the only positives. What did you think, Aiden?
Yeah, I think we definitely showed what we can do with the ball. Like, I know you can say what you want about the Andy Stadium pitch being a really shocking batting pitch, really good for bowling, but keeping it to 135 in the Big Bash in the T20 franchise, I think is pretty good. We got out there first with their best batsman, former Australian opener, who's pretty much the biggest wicket in the league at the moment, other than Cooper Connolly, but definitely up there. And we knew he could do some damage, so we got him early. And now I think, from a bowling perspective, I think just the feeling let down the bowlers. Doug Warren was
No, that's
our
fantastic.
spinners can definitely, our spinners definitely have what it takes. I think a bit more of the development, and I think they'll get there. Obviously, Tom Curran bowled well, Peter Siddle bowled well. Joel Paris missed out on a chance yesterday, but I think all in all, our bowling went pretty well.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Josh, what did you think of the positives of last night?
Look, our bowling, it was all right. I think Mir was probably the better one out of all the bowlers. Credit to Tom Curran for getting out David Warner for a duck. I think we should have played Mark Steckity a few more overs instead of just that 1 over. I think that's what hurt us as well. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, no, overall a pretty solid performance with the bowl, like you guys just mentioned. Holding him to 135, I think, is a pretty reasonable total. You'd like to think chaseable, but I guess we'll get into why it was not chaseable right now. What were some of the negatives from last night? Heath, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, no. So with the negatives, you could list a bunch of them. Besides our batting being deplorable, I thought our negatives was our dropped catches and the where we didn't take our opportunities in the field, and the Thunder took their opportunities, and basically that cost us the game. And we cannot make a partnership to save ourselves, and we collapse under pressure, which is what we've been notoriously known for. So that's my negatives for the match. What were your
Mine, yeah, we're probably pretty similar. The fielding was disappointing. Maybe once if there's a drop catch and the ball gets caught under the lights, then maybe you'd let it slide. But the fact that it kept happening so many times, and we were also just sloppy, leaking so many runs, and probably bowling certain people at the wrong time. I think we also should have bowled Mark Stecty a couple more overs. But I guess it's hard to tell going into a game with a few different conditions that some guys just aren't used to. But we have to be able to overcome those obstacles. But I think the main disappointing thing was the batting, as everyone knows. Sam Harper and Tom Rogers were just simply not good enough. It was very simple what we had to do. I'm sure those experienced players and coaches were telling them. Can you just mute your mic, please, Josh?
G'day, guys.
I'm sure. Hey, Henry. I'm sure those experienced coaches and players were telling him, but it was just a letdown. Third bowl he plays a ramp shot, which was just unnecessary, and also Tom Rogers just flew one in the air. I just think those things are just the times where you need to be more smart, and that's why I think we probably should have opened with some more experienced guys, maybe bringing Hanscom or Stoinis up the order. We have a lot of options with our batting depth, and I just think that wasn't the right decision bringing them in early. So that was obviously a negative, and really their whole season's been a negative. So I think in the off season we'll look to target other players. But in terms of other negatives, I mean, Stoinis never looked comfortable. Maxwell was nice, but just ended up throwing his wicket away a little bit in the end. A few other guys were promising, like Hilton Cartwright, but overall, just the whole batting collapse was pretty negative. Welcome in, Henry. We're just talking about the positives and negatives. What were some negatives that you thought of from the game last night?
Yeah, well, obviously, start off with a disappointing result. But you look at, our batting depth. We've got a lot of really, really good talent. But as you said, I reckon every wicket was nearly thrown away. Harper, that was just ridiculous. That's out of the world dumb. But, it's been like that all year, though, where we've started our opening partnership one down in the first, in the power play at least. And it was, it's a disappointing thing to happen. But I'll get into my more disappointing results, and that's how we've let our tail enders like Mark Steckety nearly got us home in the end. We had, who was it? Maxi obviously put on a little bit of a show, but just couldn't get himself really going in the end. With the ball, I thought Summer Mir was a standout, and that wicket was obviously just a road and a half. It was spinning left, right, and centre. But yeah, it's really all I've got to say. It's a pain of a result, but we reset and we'll go again in BBL 15.
Yep. Aiden and Josh, we'll just get your thoughts on those negatives from last night. Aiden, if you wanted to go first.
Yeah, for sure. I think first of all, you can't look past your fielding efforts. Plenty of drop catches, plenty of misfields, just straight through the legs. You can't. The catches win matches. I think that's a big thing, and it wasn't just the outfielders. Sam Harper as well missed a couple off Doug Ryan's bowling. One was pretty tricky, but he missed a couple of stumpings as well. So if we got them down to 135 with all those errors, you can only imagine we could have kept them to about 100, which is an incredible score for the bowling team. If we could get rid of them, but obviously with the batting, I think there just needs to be a change. I think I don't think we're going to get better if we don't change. I know
Yep.
when we've had Joe Clark in, Ben Duckett in, one of them's gone to 3 or 5, but they've still been in the team. I think we've got literally everyone in our top 7 has opened before. Well, maybe not Tom Curran, but all of them can open in Big Bash cricket. So I don't know why we've stuck to Rogers and Harper opening. I think Rogers, I think there's something there, but I don't think stars of the club for him. Like he did score a couple of hundreds for Victoria and Sheffield Shield, Marsh One Day Cup, stuff like that. But I think it's just not the club for him. It's not going to work out. And I think if we've got that many people who can open, why don't we use them? That's just what I can't really understand. Cartwright hit a couple of big ones, but we can't just expect one or two plays to win us the game, and that's sort of why we haven't won yet. We've got one or two good players, but we don't have a consistently good squad. We don't have enough depth if we're playing the same two openers who are making one or two every week.
Yeah, and Josh, what did you think of the match from a negative point of view?
Yeah, I think if you look at it, obviously we got. I think when we were bowling, we got about 7 wickets for 135. You'd think that's pretty easy to get the job done, but no. We started off with our two worst batters, Tom Rogers and Sam Harper, again, which we really should have started off with either, Hampskin or Stoinis. Sam Harper, he did get off to a bit of a start, but then he just went with that stupid ramp shot, which I think really cost us. And Tom Rogers, I think getting out for, was it 1 run? I think. We need to make some big changes to this batting lineup. Get rid of Rogers, get rid of Harper, and hopefully bring in some good batters that can actually last a long time.
Yeah, no, I think there'll definitely be some changes to the lineup. We just got to wait and see in that off season. Back to you, Heath, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. So we've done the positives, done the negatives. What in your opinions, what do we think we need to work on and tweak to make us a better team? Because we've tried everything, we've experimented with different batters at different times, and it just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, it's a tough question. I don't know. I guess tweaking the order would be something that we need to look at. Changing our openers, which we've just mentioned, which is also one of the negatives. But yeah, really just got to wait and see what changes we do make in this upcoming off season and trade period. Some batters, hopefully coming our way by the sound of things, possibly a Mitch Marsh or a Jake Weatherald would be nice at that top of the order. And I guess we've got to wait and see. But yeah, the main thing would really just be tweaking the batting order in orders of things to change. I think that's the main reason we lost a lot of games. And I also don't think we really have a batting kind of game plan. We just went out there and slogged it when it was simple. We didn't need to. All we needed was some smart cricket shots, about 6 or 7 runs and over. That's only one boundary and a couple singles maybe. And that would have got us the job done. But no, we went out there and we played ramp shots and reverse sweeps and silly things that you need to be really experienced and a really good cricketer to be able to do that in a pitch like that in a high pressure situation. So I think the coaches need to step up. And yeah, so the main thing would just be tweaking a few things in batting from a batting point of view. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think if you look at the best batsmen in the league this season, the top couple, except for Maxi, of course, their strike rates really aren't that high. They've let themselves get a chance. Guys like Cooper Connolly, David Warner, they've just absorbed the pressure for a bit and they've just stayed in there when it's the toughest. And on the other side of it, they'll hit their boundaries and scored runs towards the end of the innings. So I think that's just what Tom Rogers and Sam Harper, that's what's going wrong there. I think personally, if that was their natural gameplay and they were scoring runs doing that, I'd be all for it. Like I don't want Glenn Maxwell to take 20 balls to get Zion and then start picking them off at the end. He just plays reverse ramps for six on his first ball, but that's just his natural game and that's how it works. So he has a license to do that. But I think definitely we need to bring in a new opener. I think both of our openers can be dropped. I think if we're getting Tim David as well, that kind of forces him into the middle order, which pushes someone like Hilton Cartwright, Marcus Jonas, even Glenn Maxwell maybe to the top of the order. And I've said this a few times, but I really want to see Jake Weatherall join the team. I think he's shown some serious potential in the last 2 or so years. He hasn't really gone on to become a successful big player yet, but I think he's got everything there to get it together and develop under us, just like Bo Webster has.
Yeah. What did you think, Henry?
Yeah, I reckon there's obviously a few things that need to be tweaked, whether that's batting or bowling. Realistically, I reckon we do need a new keeper. It's time for a new change with the keeping. Sam Harper, he has his moments where he does perform really well with the bat and looks like a star, but he also has the moments, which has been this year, where he hasn't been able to get going at all. We saw his first 2 games were terrific. I think he scored 48 and 46 or something like that, and was looking good. Um, but yeah, we do got to tweak a lot of things. It's whether it's a middle order all rounder like batsman, bowler, whatever it is. Just want to see someone really experienced with the Big Bash. Like we've obviously got a lot of young players. Like Max is obviously very experienced. Stoinis is very experienced, but like I think what we're doing now, going after Tim David, is a really good look. Last night, I think without Bo Webster, that hurt us a fair bit because Bo's been in terrific form in all formats of the game. And in all honesty, you see, Tom Rogers has not got going, and I've always stuck to form. Like when you're not in form, it's not you know on it's not permanent. It always gets better, but unfortunately for Tom Rogers, that hasn't been able to happen this year. So I feel like Sam Harper will go, and then we will we'll make the heartbreaking calls that we have to do. Because yeah, we need to start winning. It's pretty simple, and yeah, it's all I've really got to say. But yeah, hopefully next year's a better year.
Yeah. No, we really hope so. A lot of changes to be made this off season. Josh, just quickly, did you have any other things that haven't been said already that you think need tweaking?
Um, yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everyone else there. I think, obviously get rid of Sam Harper. We do sign up Peter Hampskin. I think that'll be a smart play, and if we do get like Mitch Marsh or Tim David or something like that, they will definitely help out with our batting lineup, and that means you can put Stoinis up the top, where he likes to play. So yeah, I think next year will be a much better season. So yeah.
Yeah. No, a lot of changes, like I just said, hopefully to be made. Really good points there from everybody. Heath, did you have anything to finish up on? I know we've got through most things. Now's usually where we'd say, what do we need to improve on for next game? But unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. There is no next game, not until December this year. So it's going to be a long off season. A lot of time to review everything that's happened and rethink what we need to work on. But did you have anything else?
Yeah, I was just I'll get you guys a simple answer to this question. Do you think Peter Moores should be sacked?
It's a tough one. I want to say no, and the reason is it's only been 2 seasons. You look at everyone else in the Big Bash, including players, coaches, all those guys. They get more of a chance, but this year I think it showed that Peter Moores wasn't really the right guy for the job. But my answer would be no. Give him one more season. But then again, I think if he continues to do bad, then maybe it is time to seek someone else. What do you guys think?
Um, I I personally think it's a no because it. Look where we got. We got to knockout finals last season. We didn't get to the finals. We're going up each year. So I think give him another season next season, and if we reach the semi-finals or the finals, and I think he could be the right guy.
I think 2 years ago when we signed him because he was someone with experience, had won leagues all around the world. So I think that shows he can do it. So for me, I reckon we can give him one more season. But I think the only problem I have is he's a bit reluctant to change. You see, the lineup doesn't change much year on year, or game on game even. Sorry. I think we just need a fresh start. We can give him one more year because we know how good of a coach he can be. But I think just yeah, when you have Tom Rogers and Sam Harper opening every single week, something needs to change.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Aiden. I'm going to say no. Obviously, this late push in the year has really, given the Stars fans a lot of confidence going into BBL 15, and hopefully we do use that as, a lot of confidence to go into next year. Oh, this year, I should say. But I'm going to say no. Our last few pushes in the last 2 years, like when we've started getting on a roll and winning games, has really shown what we are capable of and what Peter Moores as a coach is capable of doing. But as Aiden said, we haven't seen the lineup change, and I would like to see it change. As we've all been saying, basically all year, we'd like to see Stoinis at the top. I'm going to say it again. We want to see Stoinis at the top, but you know, it's it's basically 50-50 with Peter Moores. It's either we get off to a really bad start or we get off to a good start and then start having a bad end of the year. But anyways, that's just what I think. Yeah.
What do you think, Josh?
I already said what I thought. Yeah, just give him one
Yeah, my apologies. You did, didn't you?
one more season.
No, I'm not used to having this many people on the podcast. But anyway, no, it was a good question, Heath. Like I've already mentioned, I think give him one more season. But I think a lot of the decisions are also not just made by the coach, but by the list managers as well. And that comes with our signings in the off season, the people we draft, and who's on our final XI. So I think those guys are also not to blame necessarily, but people who maybe need to move on or maybe need to realise that we need to change. This hasn't been working. I know we did well winning 5 games in a row, but maybe a bit of that was luck. Maybe it was a bit of maxi magic. But I just don't think the lineup is what won us the game because we still had those same guys opening, like Aiden and Henry mentioned. So, yeah, definitely some changes to be made. But I guess that wraps it up, Heath.
Yeah, no, it wraps it up. It's not. Thank you guys for coming on and the host as always. It's all. It's not our final episode as we will be having. Josh, Jacob, and I will be having a big bash season review tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And we'll also be doing player ratings and player reviews. That'll be done on the Monday, so that's plenty of content to go along with this one. So I'd just like to thank you guys for the season that we've had. We didn't get the job done, but hopefully with a bit of tweaking, list changing, we should be finding our way up to the top as we know we can, because we are capable. We just need to show it.
Yeah, I think this season was a step in the right direction, although it may not have seemed like it. But getting to finals is definitely a big momentum kind of boost. It just wasn't our night the other night. Conditions didn't suit us. Our lineup wasn't ready, but we moved forward with our heads high. Big off season coming up. And yeah, I guess we're all very excited for BBL 15 already. But best of luck to the teams that are still in finals contention. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. So thank you for Aiden and Henry for being our guests. Thank you guys for coming on and sharing your thoughts. And also thank you to Josh for coming on once again.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, and we get the job done in BBL 15.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.
Yeah, cheers. I just want to say, next season, hopefully we start off at the top.
Well, we can only hope so, but I guess that's it. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. Make sure to continue supporting if you enjoy the content, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers, go Stars.
What you doing? You just wanna sunset.